We've all been asked the age-old question, if you could pick one superpower, what would it be? With answers ranging from super strength to mind control, there never seems to be a wrong answer. Well, except for the one, and that's hyperspeed. Aside from the fact that there are many cooler ways to travel, such as growing wings or being able to teleport, I mean, come on, it's teleportation after all. Superspeed poses many negative side effects that you don't see in the movies. Assuming you're not a metahuman drenched in electrified chemicals or the son of two superheroes in another, this time animated world, yes, that is me. The ability to travel at these incredible speeds does not apply to you. The real-world physics behind a lot of these scenes in these pop culture references would look much different if you were the one behind the mask. When talking about hyperspeed, speed itself is not the issue. Humans have been traveling at high speeds already. It is the acceleration that scares us, mortal humans. During the Apollo 10 mission, these three astronauts became the fastest traveling humans ever, reaching speeds above 24,000 miles per hour, or roughly 31 times faster than the speed of sound. However, this speed was achieved over a long amount of time. If they gained the speed in a fraction of a second, there would be no surviving crew. This is the exact reason why car crashes are so lethal. The sudden change in speed over a very small amount of time results in very bad outcomes. Using physics, we can quantify these bad outcomes in terms of the g, or Earth's gravity. On Earth, our acceleration is 9.8 meters per second squared, or 1g. Humans are used to this value, so anything that strays from 1g will affect us. The less g's, the higher we can jump, and the more g's, the worse the car crash. In the first ever episode of The Flash, Barry Allen starts at rests and ends running at incredible speeds in an instant. So, if we assume Barry is traveling at 1/10 the speed of light, and he does this in 1/10 of a second, we can determine the amount of g's affecting Barry's body. In physics, all forms of linear motion can be described and evaluated using the four kinematic equations. To best solve this problem, we use this equation, where v final is Barry's final velocity, v initial is his initial velocity, a is his acceleration, and t is time. We know that Barry is moving at 1/10 of the speed of light, or 0.1 c. He starts at rest, so his initial velocity is 0, and the time it takes him to get to his top speed is 1/10 of a second. This results in an acceleration value of 300 million meters per second squared. Because the Earth's gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared, or 1g, Barry is accelerating at over 30 million times more than what the Earth exerts. The human record holder for the highest g's taken is John Stapp, who, in June of 1954, reached 46.2 g's by literally strapping himself to a rocket. This resulted in cracked ribs, a broken wrist, and all of the blood vessels in his eyes to burst. So surely, 650,000 times that will kill you. Using another physics equation, we can determine the amount of force exerted on the average human's body. Because force equals mass times acceleration, and the average human weighs around 135 pounds or 62 kilograms, we can determine the force exerted on the average human to be 18 billion newtons. This is equivalent to 8 million times the amount of force required to break a human skull. And, going back to our space theme, it's also 930 times more force than a space shuttle launch. And if somehow that is not enough to deter you from wanting to run at supersonic speeds, listen closely. A housefly will kill you. We have all seen the bloodbath on a car windshield after a long drive. This would look no different on a human who can run at hyperspeed, as the bug still can't move out of the way fast enough. Using the laws of energy and momentum, hitting just a measly housefly at this velocity will result in a velocity change of about 5 meters per second. Even this small change in velocity will then result in the speedster having lower energy than they initially had, and losing some of the energy to, you guessed it, your body. This impact will impart a whopping 4.5 billion joules of energy onto the speedster. For those that do not know, 4.5 billion joules of energy is equivalent to 4.5 lightning strikes, consuming over 1,900 Big Macs and over 2,000 pounds of TNT. Poor Wiley. This energy will be dissipated over the width of a housefly, turning the unlucky speedster into a human honeycomb, or human Swiss cheese, whatever you'd prefer. So, with your new knowledge of what traveling at super speed will do, I hope you make a better decision. Maybe pick super strength, or mind reading, or teleportation. Unless those don't work either.